Hey, I just want to talk to you about your guidance system, which is far and away one of my favorite topics. And I love the concept of intuition, but I find that whenever I bring up guidance system with people, they take a leap to intuition immediately, as if your guidance system is intuition and that's all there is to it. And there's so much more to it. But intuition is priceless and it's underrated, and we can cultivate it if we've been ignoring it. I always like to say it wants to be on speaking terms with you, and it's not punitive. So if you've been ignoring it or neglecting it or not responding to it properly, no problem. It's right there. It just wants to get in there with you. So really the only thing you need to do, okay, that's really an oversimplification, but the primary thing you need to do if you want to make a project of cultivating intuition or of increasing your connection to your own intuitive faculties, is just respond to it more quickly. And the more responsive you become to your intuition, okay, I feel that, so I'm going to go with it, the more it talks to you. But it will not withhold. It will not punish you for any ignoring of it. And work it backwards. If you notice you ignored it, and then something showed you why it was a very bad idea for you to ignore it, or it shows you that your intuitive hit was right. There are two possible reactions, and one of them is empowering and one of them is disempowering. One is get excited that you saw it. Oh, I knew this. I had this in view. It showed itself to me. I'm not actually missing the cues. I'm just still working to build that muscle to respond to them. So that positive response makes you feel good about it, bolsters you, gets you in the mindset, okay, this is working, and you just declare, I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to respond more often, more quickly, and talk back to it less. The other disempowering response is to get really upset with yourself, be angry, be self-judgmental, start self-flagellating, decide you'll never get it, and then no, you won't then see the next intuitive thing that comes in. You'll be more likely to miss it because the whole deal is now all wrapped up in judgment and self-flagellation. I thought the first time I realized, oh, if I punish myself for what I'm aware of, I'm going to want to be less aware. So we actually hamper our self-awareness or our awareness to our own intuition when we beat ourselves up for missing it. Okay. Let's go back to guidance systems. So sometimes people present reason and intuition as somehow opposed to each other. In fact, they're not. They are both aspects of who you are, and they are both aspects of your guidance system. And if you're an intelligent, reasoning human being, or someone who likes to think things through, or who appreciates all the parts that they're able to see and kind of, reckon with, and well, then that's a good thing, and that's part of your guidance system. The problem with reason is just that in our patriarchal Western culture, by and large, we have made it the end all and be all, and that actually doesn't work. And then it does counter intuition, because where they're meant to work together, and they're in fact set up to work together, we set them up to oppose themselves inside ourselves, which isn't even real, but we're just doing it. And then the most common way it happens is you get the intuitive hit and you talk back to it with reason. Don't go that way. I always go that way. I'll be late if I don't go that way. So and so will be mad at me when I go that way. So that's where, like, whatever your stuff is hooks into it as well. But you'll use reason to bring your stuff in. And then you talk yourself out of that, knowing that's the right way to go right now. And how can you know it's the right way to go? Why it's the right way to know right now? When we think we need to know why to follow our intuition, then we're trapped in that reason thing. And so start letting the why reveal itself later if it wants to. It doesn't always. Just make your goal to be in sync with all the parts of your guidance system. So typically, when you're using reason correctly, reason and intuition will work hand in hand to help you get somewhere, along with all the other aspects of your guidance system. So I learned from Brian Wetton, who wrote a little book I like called Yes, Yes, Hell No, that the idea of You need a yes from reason to go forward. You need a yes from intuition, which isn't going to have all the ideas and thoughts related to reason. It's just going to be that yes, that right for me feeling, that I'm home feeling, that ooh, everything just aligns when I look at that direction in the road, or when I drop in with this person who's come into my life, or whatever. So reason and intuition are meant to go hand in hand, and then the hell no part of his little model is fear will come in and say hell no, like it doesn't matter where the other yeses are. Fear's going to make a case for no, 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 don't do it. People worry sometimes that they won't distinguish the voice of fear from the voice of intuition or even reason. I mean, the fear masquerades more as reason, because it will tell you, no, you won't be okay, you'll be shamed, you'll lose money, you'll whatever. Sorry about my text coming in. So, the voice of fear is not that hard to distinguish, though. It's pretty shrill. It's very all or nothing. It's very driven to get a certain outcome. You cannot do this, or you have to do this. Whereas the voice of reason is just laying out, here's the cost benefit analysis. Here's the money of it. Here are the pros and cons. There are lots of ways reason chimes in. Here's where it's actually doable with your life. Here's what would maybe need to drop for it to be doable. That's reason. Okay, fear is hell no. So I'm going to leave that and go to other aspects of your guidance system. So we are in a symbolic universe. We are in a profoundly intelligent, responsive, funny, but humor is intelligence, a form of intelligence. We are in a very responsive, intelligent, symbolic universe. And the more you notice what you notice, and it's so cool to frame it that way, because really this is not about, oh no, I need to muster up some noticing of what I don't get. Notice what you notice. Your guidance system is yours. It is an aspect of how you're wired. It's not foreign to you. It's just that maybe you haven't developed it or brought sufficient consciousness to it. Or, and if you have, good Lord, keep going deeper, keep getting more subtle. That's my mission for myself, and for, the clients that I support in this. So, notice what you notice. I like to say, it's an Eastern religion concept to treat this world, this life, as the waking dream, but treat it as a dream. And so you can also mind the symbolism of it as you do in dreams. But so what I started to say earlier, I like to invite people to notice the scenes in your life that have import, that have a sort of heightened emotional tenor to them, or something that really gets your attention, or that was weird, or why did they show up just then, or whatever, and play with the symbolism. Why was that person in the dream? Why that time of day in the dream? Why, however you like to actually play with dreams, you can mind the stuff of a real life scene and draw symbolic value from it. Other ways of symbols is the stuff that comes into our field in bizarre moments, or the timing of the sign you go by, or the truck that goes by you that's got a message on it that fits what you were thinking about, or what you've already put out an intention to quest about or asked for guidance around. Songs, song lyrics. Also, external advice is part of your guidance system, but what's important is we're talking about your inner guidance system. So the importance of that with outer advice is, it's good advice not if the person is wise. Lots of wise people give the wrong advice for you in the moment. And it's good, and a perfect idiot could give you good advice if they are just the mouthpiece for what needs to be spoken to you in that moment, and there they are. The universe will use anything. Your kids, whatever. But it's how it hits you that shows you whether it's right for you or not. Does the external advice come in hitting me in that knowing place? Does it come in repeating what I had already figured out but wasn't committed to yet, or what I was on the edge of and they just articulated it for me? Or does it make me have a new vista, that feels expansive, that feels like, oh, this is something I need to learn more about. You know when it hits you right. Even if it feels bad, it could feel bad because you realize truth is being spoken and it's an uncomfortable truth. But the wrong advice for you, even spoken by a well-meaning person you trust, who's given you great advice before, who's wise, I just really want to emphasize your inner guidance system does not need to defer to anyone, not the queen, not the wise man, or wise woman, not the healer, anything. So, sorry about that gender thing, and I even still fucked up by saying man and woman. Okay, so the wise being. Yeah, so let me make sure that I get to what I was going to say. Forgive me for distracting myself. When you get the right advice for you, it will feel expansive, and it may feel like relief, and it will feel like truth. And the bad advice makes you feel confused, bad about yourself. You may start to second guess yourself. You may start to question what you know to be true. You may start, if you go to attacking yourself, definitely the wrong advice for you. If it takes you to a future and predictions that are muddled and exactly what you don't vote for, wrong advice for you. Anything that feels contracting, that makes you small, anything that makes you feel deflated, like somebody speaks reason to you and puts you back in your place, or shows you the error of your ways trying to believe in something or pursue something. If you feel deflated, this is not this is not truth. This may be someone's version of reality. This may even be smart things they're saying, but it's not the right advice for you. So you look for what makes you feel expansive, what makes you feel connected, what makes you feel, not that you get the whole thing, not that you have a vision that's a blueprint that supports you to see the way, all the way through, just that you get an expansive vista and you just feel the courage, the impulse, the inspiration, even the joy to head in the direction that feels right to you. So your inner guidance system is complex, it is sophisticated, it is wise beyond belief. It wants to be on speaking terms with you. It is constantly showing itself to you. And the bottom line is the work you need to do is simply to pay attention and sit with it. Sometimes it's about sitting still a little bit more, being quiet, writing stuff, asking questions in writing and seeing what comes into you in a chill moment. Sometimes it's just about very quickly responding to what comes in, including those simple inner physical tugs. There's one I didn't name before. It happens for me in my word game. I'm playing my word game when it's aligned and it's the right time and it's fun and it feels good and I'm actually learning things and seeing the metaphorical value of it, etc., versus when I'm playing the game and I'm feeling the inner tug that says, you're doing this because you're ignoring something. You're doing this because you're doing this even though it's time to go to sleep now, and that will actually serve the whole of who you are and what you need and what you want, not this game. So, and by the way, your inner guidance system also wants you to have fun. It's not a killjoy or a wet blanket like we treat it like sometimes. It really does have the whole picture in view. It wants you to have sex. It doesn't want you to use sex to ignore your problems, for example. So I'll just stop there. There's more to say, but you just cultivate it, however you see to cultivate it, responding in the moment, sitting with it, noticing what you notice, and not beating yourself up for what you mess up, but noticing which part was I actually attuned to and where's the muscle I need to build, and go from there. You're brilliant. Your guidance system is brilliant. Love it and trust it.